Yeah, so this season we are changing Conquest again. This one is going to have a lot of changes, both visual and gameplay. We have the Hindu themed Conquest map coming up for 9-1, which is very exciting to call out to Smite's next god, which will be arriving the patch after.
True that. Let's get a little preview of the map here with the video.
Give me the map, baby. Show me the goods, please.
As Tiamat's reign fades from memory, so too do the tributes in her honor.
Let's turn this down. I'll keep turning it back up.
Yet, as old gods fall, a new era rises. An era of destruction. An era of creation. An era of Shiva.
We're not seeing shit. I need to see the good goods.
It looks so good.
An era of Shiva. I know. So excited. So let's talk about it a little bit. There are a lot of things that kind of were showed off in that video, but AJ, how about you hop in by just talking about some of the new things that we saw there? What can people look forward to with this map?
So the first thing you're going to notice is art changes. The lighting has been changed to a more daylight lighting, which is something very different from what we were just used to. We were experiencing actually one of the darkest, dreariest themes in Conquest history with the winter theme.
Not a fan.
Now we're going back to broad daylight. This is even very different than the Season 8 sunset lighting. And this is really strong conveyance of Shiva and the era of peace that he's going to be bringing to the Smite universe. So on the Order side, we see a temple to Shiva that's been built alongside Mount Olympus to show that these two powers are ruling together side by side equally with each other, not one above one another. And you're also going to see the Chaos side has become overgrown as Tiamat has abandoned her intimidating temple that was kind of looming over the Olympians and is now being overgrown by nature, or even being recovered or rebuilt or stripped for parts by the mortals that have moved into the area.
That is super cool. It also looked like there was some kind of pillar there. What's that about?
All right, so we have one.
Obelisk.
Exactly. And we have some really big gameplay mechanics coming with our new objective called the Obelisks. So Obelisks are a new map objective that works in a loop that kind of overlaps the rest of the Conquest gameplay. So each team has an obelisk on their side of the jungle. These obelisks are reservoirs of power that the team can power up by collecting offerings. So what'll happen is that the obelisk will become active. When that happens, a lot of things on the map will change. There will be different indicators and things to let you know what
ban
is
this dude, ban that guy.
Offerings. And players who go and slay
So
the
fucking
proper
annoying.
camps will be able to pick up these offerings. You won't have to carry them back to the obelisk. Just pick them up anywhere to score a point for your team. And at the end of the cycle, whichever team has completely filled their obelisk will get a bonus new jungle buff.
I don't know how I feel about
there
this.
will also be experience and gold rewarded on how much you fill it. And Pawn is very excited about. There's also some very interesting reactions with jungle camps and the obelisks. Because they will actually respawn at different times along with the obelisks. So you can do some really interesting
maybe I like it.
and jungle clearing type mechanics.
As long as there's more gameplay mechanics added to it, because it's base, that sounds super stupid.
See all of that in the map and live in the game. Pawn, what are you most excited about for this new map?
I mean, for the new map, obviously the art style, but also the reward for the obelisk, the scepter. I think that's the thing that's going to be really, really cool for people to play with.
Awesome. I'm excited to see that in game. So next up, we're going to be talking about some of the new features that we're bringing to the Battleground beyond just the new map changes. And the next new features are going to actually be an upgrade to our Relic system that involves a bunch of awesome new relics. And I have some new team members here to talk with me about that. So let's get right into it. The new Relic system is going to involve some really cool new branching trees for all of the relics. Tier 3s for pretty much everything that exists, and just so many changes. So let's get right into it. I now have Clumsy.
Oh my god, he said
AJ.
5 times.
Clumsy, how are you?
I'm doing well. Really excited to get into Season 9.
Awesome. Super excited for it. So let's start talking about this new Relic system. What's going on? What's going to happen with it?
6 times.
So you're still gonna have the first relic at level 1. You're still gonna have your second relic at level 12. But like you said, you're gonna have a third relic now. That's gonna be an upgrade from your previous ones. You'll have your tier 1, which is still gonna be free. You're gonna have your tier 2, which is now gonna be a reduced cost of 300 gold, and then your tier 3 options, which are gonna be 800 gold. They are not gonna be level restricted to be able to purchase and upgrade through them. You'll be able to upgrade from tier 1 to tier 3 just based on that cost.
That's
tier 3 relic
awesome.
Upgrades.
Tier 3 relics for 800 gold.
And I've heard that some of them are pretty wild. I've heard that the way it works is there's some that maybe fall more in line with the base relic itself, and some that kind of spice it up a little more. So, are there any of them that you want to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. We can spoil. I mean, the patch notes are gonna be out. We might as well get through a few more of these. So we talked about, we had a little spoiler online of temporal beads is coming back to an extent. So we've got one of the upgrades for B purification beads is gonna be, you are obviously gonna get the CC cleanse, but you're now gonna be reducing your active cooldowns by 3 seconds on use. So that's coming back into the game. It's really exciting.
Yep. So you can use it offensively. This second upgrade is broken.
Another one. So actually, there is one change.
The most broken thing they're putting in the game.
Relic that's going to be removed from the list, and that's going to be Phantom. And instead, we're going to be bringing the Phantom effect into Magic Shell's upgrade. So we're going to have Phantom Shell, which basically is kind of what you'd assume. You'd be able to use the Magic Shell effect, and you'd also be gaining
the other beads, dude.
Reduced damage from basic attacks, as well as allowing you and your allies to phase through player and player-made walls during that time.
The other beads for junglers and shit is broken.
We have like some big changes like Phantom Shell. We have some relics that are being cut, a lot of balance changes, a lot of adjustments, and then also just having 2 completely new upgrades for every relic in the game. It's quite a lot to learn. There's a long list of them to go over, so we're not going to go over everyone in real specific detail here on the show.
If you spoil, you'll be permabanned from my stream, just so you know. If you're going through the paper patch notes and come in here and type something, you're permabanned and you're not coming back.
Oh yeah, definitely do that. All of that's listed in the patch notes that y'all can check out right now, and it's so much. I mean, there's the amount of items there. It's going to be a read. You're going to have so many new gameplay styles you can take on, so many ways to counter your enemies late game, so many new paths you can build. It's so exciting. I'm super excited. I heard we get to go in game for one too. Let's check it out.
Yeah, we have one more teaser, and we're going to show that off.
All right, so which one are we looking at here?
So we're going to be looking at Drowned Ankh. So you can see something immediately different happen there. So obviously, Ankh, you're still going to be having the healing reduction effects, but you're also going to be having this pool of miasma. So when a god is healed by those abilities, they're also going to be dropping that miasma pool that deals a % health on a per tick basis.
Well, I was wondering what that was, bro. Look at the damage. It takes fast as fuck.
We have some balance going on, and we're going to be using PTS too. But yeah, that's the third variation that we're showing off today.
So if you get hit by Drowned Ankh and then heal, you're actually going to be dropping damaging areas that are scattered within your own team's areas that you're going to have to watch out for and dodge if you get hit by that relic.
That also refreshes the Ankh debuff itself. So
yeah,
that's awesome. I'm going to be picking that up in Assault.
Some powerful effects. That's just a taste. There's many more relics on those patch notes that have all sorts of interesting and powerful effects. Here's a full look of all of the new relic icons.
The relics
we also updated all of the relic art for the tier 1 and tier 2 relics. Is that correct, Clumsy?
Yeah, you can see also that there's a couple completely
relic
new
icons do look really good.
We have a
I like
new
beads
artwork there. Belt of Frenzy too. We went through a lot of effort to make sure that we bring these relic upgrades into tier 3s, and we kind of bring everything to a new level for season 9.
Yeah, it's truly exciting, and you'll be able to again read about all of these in the update notes, what they do, and how you can best use them to start getting in and winning these games in exciting new ways.
We're gonna have to go through paper notes after this because I don't think they're covering every item.
To be able to share all of these with y'all, as well as another new addition that we're adding to the game coming with 9.1, and that's going to be a system that we are calling Glyphs. Glyphs are going to be another new addition to the base items in the game. And now we have Lermy here to help us talk about these glyphs. How are you, Lermy?
See, tier 4. I told you, tier 4 items. Uh-oh.
All right, that was excellent and very quiet as well. No, but so while we're working on this, are you good? Lermy. Well, here, how about Clumsy? How about we go ahead and talk about these glyphs? So it's apparently a tier 4 for a certain regular items. How's that working?
Yeah, that's exactly true. So we have kind of like Relic Upgrades. We've got branching tier 4 alternatives now for 5 specific items that we're going to be bringing forwards into the game. And so the big difference between Glyphs and just what tier 4 items are is that the Glyphs will not be bringing increased stats to these items. It's really just going to be an additional passive effect. And we're going to be seeing 2 different ways that we're going to be utilizing that in Season 9.
Ooh, that's super exciting. So, let's get into some of these, right? Because I assume that this is going to be a way, again, to help diversify these late game builds, to help you decide on how you can counter the enemy team based on what their build is looking like. And again, as you get late game, sometimes you're like, all right, well, I already have my full build. How can I counter what I'm facing? How can I turn this around? And I assume this is going to help people with being able to add those additional effects and select those to either help bridge the gap in a game that you might be behind in, or maybe further your lead in the game you're dominating in.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to be implemented in the gameplay.
So like I said, there's going to be the tier 3 to tier 4 options.
They're expensive.
The Glyph items will not have any different stats, but adding additional passive will help you kind of cater your builds exactly like you were saying, towards what the enemy might be doing. And that's going to mean some of these glyphs, some of these items, and some of these characters that are going to be using them will have a slightly larger power spike. But we want to really see how this goes. And like I said, we can
the Deathbringer one,
just like we did with the Relic Upgrades.
One of them is going to be very core to crit builds.
So starting off, I think we can talk about Malicious Deathbringer. So this is one of the things that we're talking about with Glyphs, where actually we're going to be calling the item pool for some of these items, and one of these is going to be Malice, an item that a lot of people kind of like using in very specific circumstances. But with this new glyph system, we're actually going to be removing it from the game and adding its passive effect back onto Deathbringer as a glyph. So
yeah, it's 600 gold basically to get the passive effect, so it's worth it if it's key for you.
The critical strike multiplier, but you're also going to be getting
updating Smite source is easy, bro.
Strikes, just like you would have gone from Malice.
Items barely changed.
That's really handy too.
There are not that many new items.
For items that have passives that you're in love with, but maybe aren't the deciding factor you feel like for the game. It allows you to pick up those passives and utilize them with the build that you're happier with or you think is more effective, without costing you that item that you would have gotten instead anyway. So by taking some of these more, I hate to say fringe passive effects, but effects that again you pick up, when you're like, I think I want this. Maybe it allows you to get that on top of the build that you already are in love with. So that's awesome. I heard there's also one for Rod of Tahuti. What's that look like?
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be bringing Calamitous Rod of Tahuti into the game. And this is unlike the...
I don't know about this. I'm interested in the Rod
We're going to
changes.
be bringing a whole new passive effect into the game. That's what most of the glyphs we're going to be looking at will be actually for Season 9. Or at least for the start of Season 9, because who knows going later on. But Calamitous Rod of Tahuti, whenever you successfully hit an enemy god with an ability, so obviously this is going to be for the magic users being off of Rod of Tahuti, it'll actually call down a meteor that lands after a short delay, dealing extra damage in a small radius. Obviously that effect can only happen once with an internal cooldown.
Of course, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's really exciting too. Oh hey, we're joined by AJ now. Welcome, AJ. Glad to have you here.
Lermies, Mike.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, issues like that happen all the time. So, but yeah, we were just talking about Calamitous Rod of Tahuti and how apparently when you damage an enemy god, it sends a meteor after them. So that's pretty exciting. What are your thoughts on that there, Ajax?
Yeah, it's a interesting way to do new damage type addition onto a on-hit of abilities, right? So this one has some bit of platforming and movement requirement to it. So you get hit with this, but then it's a delayed meteor, so you actually have some time to clear out of the area. Right, Clumsy?
Yeah, you're gonna have to be a little bit fast, man. Also, the other thing is the enemies or your allies, if you're getting the meteor called down upon you, will have some time to react as well.
Right.
That's super exciting. I'm looking forward to big plays with this. I want to see like a cross map snipe where it doesn't kill, but then the meteor flies across the map and gets that finishing.
Exactly.
That's what I'm looking forward to. That's going to be so cool. So I heard that we have one last item we're going to get to look at called the Amulet of Silence, and that we actually get to see it in game. Am I right?
Yeah, I think so.
They added Unshile proc to Heartwork.
All right, so what do we got here?
So, Amulet of Silence, going off of our Heartwork Amulet, like AJ said, well, you'll gain a stack every time an enemy that's nearby uses an ability. And at 5 stacks, your next basic attack against an enemy god will actually silence them for 1.5 seconds. So there you go, there's the silence. You're going to be gaining that benefit on an internal cooldown whenever you're in the thick of things. And yeah, a powerful effect on use.
Yeah, that's crazy too, especially for those big team fights, right? Because there'll be abilities flying all over the place. So you'll be able to, if you can time that correctly, maybe shut down their mage for a couple seconds in the middle of a pivotal team fight. That's really exciting.
And this item is also going to be giving you that area of effect magical protection aura to your team at the same time.
That'll be great for a tank who engages. You're gonna dive right in. They're gonna throw abilities. You're gonna get this up, silence your target, and again, that could pivot an entire team.
Oh, this isn't that crazy. That's why I'm saying I don't know where these are gonna come into play.
Another item,
like, why am I gonna spend another 500 gold or 600 gold for a auto for just silencing on an auto? I don't know when at what point you decide.
There are a lot more glyphs where that came from, but again, if we talked about everything, the show would be 7 hours long. You can see all of
the map is the exact same.
But now we're going to move on to item balance.
I think Hydras is fucking up, dude.
Is going to be some critical strike changes. So welcome back, Lermy, and welcome, Pon. And glad to have you. Glad to hear you, too. So let's get into critical strike changes. Lermy, you're here, you're talking. What's going on with crit?
So we are changing quite a lot about crit. We're changing the actual algorithm of how crits work itself. So instead of being fully random, now we're going to a sort of pseudo-random algorithm, which will allow us to have a little bit more consistency over when we crit and when we don't crit. And so to kind of accomplish that, the algorithm is changed internally, but also the actual crit damage multiplier is changed to make it just a little bit
no
less.
more one-shotting on Mercury.
Overall, you will feel like the crit streaks happen a little bit, maybe less, but they're more consistent, right? So when you see them, you know exactly when it's going to happen, and when you're missing, you're not missing forever.
Yep. When you flip a coin 6 times and you get 6 heads in a row, it feels wrong, right? Even though when you flip a coin 100 times, you might get 6 in a row. That could be perfectly common. But you kind of expect it, like when you flip a coin, you get heads, tails, heads, tails. So this will make crit feel more intuitive, less streaks. When you're very high, more consistent streaks because you are very high in crit chance. It should better match onto kind of like human intuition.
That's wild. I don't know what to say to that. Crit is one of those things where it can be hard to deal with. So being able to make it feel more intuitive is incredible, and I'm excited to see it. So from there, let's get into some patch stuff. We're starting off with some starters. We have Warrior's Axe getting a nerf to looks like the physical and magical power.
Fuck you, solo lane.
Yeah. So with Warrior's Axe, it's obviously very, very good. People are picking it up a ton. We're just gonna take some of the edge off that item, reduce some of its power some. Make it so the other starters can compete with it. We've been kind of doing this with all these starters over the course of
honestly, fuck the mages who've been building that shit too.
9. But we're seeing a lot of good representation on a whole bunch of items in other roles. Solo lanes have kind of narrowed down still on Warrior's Axe, so we're just tweaking that to try and find a better balance.
Never a bad time to balance a starter. Awesome. Looks like the next one is Bluestone Buff getting a gold decrease. What's going on?
Yeah, kind of the same idea. So for solo lane, we saw a lot of Warrior's Axe, and thankfully the past changes to Sigil have actually seen some play across the board, so we'd love to see that. But Bluestone is kind of the one item that seems to be a little bit further away in play count, so we wanted to just make it a little bit more accessible, but not too accessible that it gets more time in Hunter and even mid occasionally, so we want to just make sure that this is still solo lane oriented, but again, more accessible.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that. Next up, Seer of the Jungle has a buff. Looks like a buff to protections, amount of damage to jungle monsters.
What's going on, fuck?
Yeah, so Seer of the Jungle has that unique ability to see wards kind of attached to it. And that's one that we were kind of actually really afraid of when we first put it in the game. But we've seen now that that's something that could, because of the game, and be pretty healthy. We're just going to make that upgrade compete better with all the other upgrade choices. So extra prots, more damage to jungle monsters,
Seer,
30 seconds to actually utilize.
Potentially purchase again?
It's going to be pretty impactful.
Yeah, sounds like it. I'm sure that jungle roamers are going to enjoy that, getting their ward clear. So we also have looks like protection of the jungle buff. Is getting an upgrade to the physical power. What's going on there, Lermy?
Okay.
Yeah, so what we've been seeing a lot in the SPL is that people are picking up Eye of the Jungle, which it hasn't been like that for a while, so it's awesome to see a new jungle item take control. However, what isn't so great is seeing them sell Eye of the Jungle at the end of the game. So what we wanted to do is kind of give a little bit more power to both of the upgrades, a little bit more to Seer, because Seer, of course, basically never got picked up, but we still want them to upgrade Eye of the Jungle at the end of the game. So hopefully this gives a little more incentive to pick up this really awesome item.
Awesome. I mean, I'm sure it will. Nothing wrong with a little power bump. Next up, looks like Tainted Steel is getting a buff. Again, just a cost reduction. We're taking 50 coins off. Why are we doing that, Pon?
Yeah, it's just a neutral starter item.
They're trying to get it so you hit those late game items a little bit earlier, like the tier 4s and the upgraded relics. They're making up for that gold you're going to spend elsewhere.
An extra potion when you start with it is going to be a pretty impactful buff to it.
Yeah, never bad to hit lane with more pots. So that does it for the starters. Looks like we're moving on to regular items now, starting with Mystical Mail, getting kind of a nerf. Looks like a decreased damage aura.
Good, that item is fucking dumb.
What's going on?
Yeah, so Mystical Mail has
most
been very
skillless role paired with the most skillless
really
item in the
option
game.
To help proc the Warrior's Axe. And since Warrior's Axe has been so dominant, and this item helps you to clear a lot, we just don't want that to be as viable anymore as just like an item to freely clear the wave. So because of that, we're taking down that aura damage, so that little proc that you get every single time that Mystical Mail goes off. It's just getting the damage decreased a little bit because we want it to be a little bit less of a crutch when it comes to your lane clear. And we want it to be a little more give and take. If you want that extra damage, you're going to have to give up a little more for that now.
Well, I mean, I'm happy to see it. I'm kind of tired of getting run down and having Mystical Mail get that final tick. I'm like, oh, I made it away, and then just right out from under me. So next up, it looks like Pridwin also getting a nerf to the shielding. Looks like the percentage is going down a little bit.
Good.
So why is that happening?
Fuck all these dumbass overpowered items.
Very effective. It gives you a lot of procs, gives you that cooldown reduction, gives you a powerful trigger effect on your ultimate usage, and that potency is commonly
fuck
used.
your
You're gonna take
basic
the edge off that shield, make it
bitch
so that,
items.
when players engage against you, you have a little bit more risk of dying. It's less protections.
Fair enough. Awesome, awesome. Next up is Bulwark of Hope, getting a little bit of a nerf. Again, looks like a little bit of a decreased shield thing going on.
Solo.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of a common theme in these balance.
Imagine being a solo laner going into season 9.
The effectiveness of shields and shielding items. So this is just another one of those shielding items that we've been seeing getting picked up a little bit more frequently than we'd like. After Bulwark got its soft rework over the past couple of patches, we've been delighted with how it's been performing, but it's time to
these are all minor nerfs. These items are all way overtuned for you guys.
Fair enough. So next up, looking like Telkine's Ring getting a nerf as well. Magical power dropping by 10. Why is that happening?
Because that item is fucking strong as shit.
Linda was actually a bit more involved in this change, so she would probably be better to ask for.
All right, lay it on me, Lermy.
Yeah, so we're actually seeing a bit of a strange conundrum right now in Conquest where magical ADCs are kind of doing a lot of the work that mages are. So instead of really like true central mages, we're seeing a lot of magical ADCs, whether that be Freya, Sol, even a little bit of Chronos here and there. Olarin also is another character that gets a lot of play. But really, we have a couple of items that are coming up to make mages in general better. So we just want to make sure that those characters that are already strong in the magical ADCs are not too strong. So even though we are taking off power here, there's power in other items that will be making them feel a lot better as well.
SPL Season 9.
Got it. All right, well, I'm excited to see that. And next up, looks like Voidstone getting a little bit of a buff as well, adding some health and some magical protection.
Okay.
Pawn,
there you go. Solo laners play Guardians again.
So
Congrats.
See the few of these
that item is
coming up are all
fucking nut stats, dude.
We have these kind of utility items that supports could be picking
up. Look at those stats.
Could be picking up to help their team. In this case, Voidstone bringing that magical protection reduction to your team. And they're just not quite as effective as they can be. So with Voidstone, we're going to be increasing its health, so it's a bit more tanky. You're bulkier when you pick this up, and you're going to be helping your mages out a bit more when you have that magic protection or a debuff from Voidstone.
Like Voidstone on a support
those
when your mages aren't building pen early could be really useful.
Get your mages being super hurtful, I guess. Next up, we have Emperor's Armor getting a buff as well, increased health and increased tower attack speed buff.
So this is a fun one. I actually am really excited for this change because not only is Emperor's Armor getting a little bit of a stat buff, it is getting that extra bit of passive power as well from the defensive buff. We decided not to buff the offensive tower effect because, you know, tower diving is still pretty common in Smite. We feel like that this item kind of enables that a little bit more, and we feel like the better experience is to really win those tower defenses rather than to overwhelmingly stomp a tower siege.
I feel like that item has been so good forever, but sieging towers don't do enough damage, so nobody gives a fuck.
It might be, it's going to literally be shooting rapid fire. Okay, maybe not, but you know what I mean. It's going to be feeling significantly faster. And hopefully that defensive effect comes through and you get to feel it in your games.
Super exciting. Hey, love to have the tower be more of a teammate, so always happy to see that it wants to defend itself as much as I want to defend it. Next up, we have Jade Emperor's Crown. And it looks like we're getting some increased health and a little bit of increased physical power aura debuff. What's going on there, Pawn?
Yep, same as the other two. It's kind of this aura utility item you can pick up to help your team out. It wasn't quite as effective. It's getting that extra health.
I don't like these items because when they're in the game is very annoying. Like when they're meta in the game.
When you pick it up. So now if you're trying to defend your mages from like a backline diver, you can stay near them and really help them out and trying to survive.
Awesome. Blackthorne Hammer getting kind of a stat rework. Looks like we're switching it around a little bit. There's a couple different things here. Let me dive into it for me.
Yes,
what?
This one is actually super interesting, and I'm really excited to go into
the cooldown.
How this works. But basically, we are moving Blackthorne Hammer off of the Shillelagh tree
Thank
and
God,
sending it
bro.
over to the heavy hammer side of things, and that allows us to kind of shift around the stats, and so you can see that it's still the
Are
same
those
price,
stats nuts, or am I
has a little
trolling?
bit less power, and now has protections on it, as well as a little bit less health. But the biggest key here is that this change to Blackthorne allows it to be the more defensive hammer. We see
that is going to be a nutty item, bro.
Health, but this
they better buff Frostbound because
prots on it.
Look at the stats on this thing.
This item going to help you with that mana restore, but now it's more defensive as well.
Look at the stats.
Awesome.
300
HP,
50 protections.
For, Runeforged Hammer. It all looks like it's also having some switch ups. You wanna get into that one as well?
Yeah, so this one is going to be the more offensive side of things.
What is
it's gonna have
this?
that little bit of extra power on top of it. It's still keeping the passive.
Why would I want
damage
this?
to CC'd enemies, but you're also getting a little bit of sustain in the HP5 and the MP5. So you're feeling pretty good now that you've got this extra offensive item that you can really use well on CC heavy solo laners.
Awesome. I'd be excited to have a hammer in either hand running down lane and screaming probably. Super cool. Next up, Hide of the Nemean Lion, also getting a buff to physical prots and the time to gain stacks. So what's going on with that, Pawn?
Oh,
yeah,
not
so
blocks coming back.
Obviously, the kind of counter.
I hope that doesn't become a regular item.
Seen good enough effectiveness here. So giving that extra 10 protections is going to help out just against all physical, but more specifically, decreasing the time to gain the block stack from 15 seconds to 10 seconds. In between fights, in between poke exchanges, you're going to be seeing more block stacks more often.
That'll be handy. Help, especially with those engages when you're trying to get that hunter out of the way, and you got to dive on top of all that damage. Next up, we have Berserker Shield getting a buff as well. Physical protections are going up by 10. What's happening?
Why?
So we haven't seen a lot of basic attack hunters over the past year, and that's kind of a little sad. You know, we don't want to make sure that all of our warriors are getting played pretty equally across the board. So we wanted to kind of do Bologna, Vamana, Amaterasu a little bit of a favor.
This is gonna buff
give them a little bit of
junglers.
extra power in this Berserker Shield. So if they try to,
And
go
I don't
into it
want
early
that item
get
to be a
attack
jungle
speed
item.
rolling, they'll feel a little bit better about it.
Awesome. I love solo laners, so I'm all about it.
Erlang, Kali.
Next up, Staff of Mirrodin getting a buff as well. Magical power going up, and duration of the passive as well. So what's happening with that, Pawn?
And you'll see this with a similar theme for all the upcoming items. We're really looking at some of the mage items that are underutilized, performing, and really giving
staff
them
might be better now
to help out.
That staff might actually be really good.
We're going to not only give it some extra power to help it compete in terms of raw DPS, but we're going to extend the duration of the passes. They have more time to play with the cooldown that this item provides.
That's handy. And like you said, we're seeing similar next up, Celestial Legion Helm, also getting a magical power buff and decreased physical protection a little bit, though. So what's going on?
A lot of these hybrid items are getting buffed,
so
bro.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a
was that
shift
6 of
on
them?
this item. Before it was pretty tanky and not so much in the power direction, but now we're kind of swapping it where
90 power is a lot of power.
Putting a little bit more of the power on it, and this is really
That's a
gonna be
lot of
helpful,
power
to the mages in mid that want to build a little bit more tanky, whether that be your Zhangquis, your Hadeses, any of those kind of characters that want to kind of get in the thick of things and fight right there. This is going to be really helpful for them because they're not giving up as much power to go into this defensive
If Guardian
item.
solo is like hard meta and they're unkillable,
Love those tanky
fucking
mid
hate my
laners,
life.
so definitely a Hades fan. Warlock Staff also getting a buff. Looks like magical power is also going up.
Hey,
so I
all the kids who love quadruple stacking now get more power.
Great. Kind of a fine balance point because it can also stack to be quite potent, as well as it has some other utility associated with it. And so making sure that this item feels like it's good to pick up more out the gate immediately when you pick it up. So a nice buff here should help it out.
And Pawn, is that the same for Charon's coin, which is also getting a power buff?
It is the same for Karen's coin, although that has a little bit more because Karen's coin and Obsidian are your more big pen items.
Karn's doesn't get touched.
Staffs. And so we can kind of package them a little bit together. We're just looking to make sure that mages as a class overall feel like they really can bring the fight to whoever they're fighting. And so these items, making sure that the tank pen options are strong, make sure that we have that kind of covered. So you'll see Warlock Staff got that buff. Karen's coin got that buff as well as Obsidian Shard will be getting a small cost reduction and power increase to make sure that
holy shit, okay, more happened to mages than I thought was going to happen.
Overall economy towards it.
That makes super sense too.
I swear it's just them making up. They want to have gold put into the new actives.
To build pin and a tank walks at you and you throw your strongest ability like a tennis ball at a brick wall. You feel like you did good until it hits it and bounces right off. So cool. Next up, it looks like Rage is also getting some increased power, going from 30 to 35. So learn me why the Rage.
All right.
Yeah, so this next set of buffs is going to be more catered towards hunters and general crit characters overall, and mostly this has to do with the adjustment to crit, and also the crit scaling itself from 2 to 1.75. So we're just kind of giving crit items a little bit of help, mostly because, again, that bonus damage that you're getting is going down, so you're going to be getting a little bit of that back in this 5 power buff to Rage.
Sounds good.
5 power.
It's Rage. It's a good item. A little more Rage damage makes sense. Fail Not getting a cost decrease as well, going down a pretty penny or two. Why are we doing that, Paul?
I wonder how meta crit's gonna be.
Same story.
I feel like people aren't gonna like it.
Has crit as a component towards it. Since crit's getting adjusted to the multipliers.
Wait till you see one of these other crit items, guys.
They pack the power that they need.
There's a new crit item.
Yeah, I hope they go over it. All about it. And Lermy, Deathbringer, looks like it's having a couple changes too. Some buffs, increased power, increased crit strike chance, and some cost
They did buff it. I was looking at it. I was like, these stats don't make sense.
Actually a super exciting change overall, mostly because
so that's 10 more power.
Is one of those glyphed items. So you
5 more crit.
Into malicious or poison
and
or envenom,
cheaper overall between Rage Deathbringer combo.
So those two together are going to be really awesome.
Merc making a comeback, baby.
Buff. So we're going to be increasing the power on it, again, to kind of compensate for that multiplier difference. We're also going to be giving it a little bit more crit chance to kind of improve how that early crit, I guess, chart goes. Because in the earlier games, when you have less crit, you may be feeling like you're critting less, but really it's just that consistency coming through. So we really want to smooth out that curve as much as possible. So by giving you a higher chance, it will basically feel the same.
Got it. That's what balance is all about, making things better, but not like, oh my gosh, it's so different. So Shadowsteel Shuriken next, getting some changes. Looks like the attack speed is going up a little bit, and the duration of the healing reduction debuff also going up.
Why? This item is being bought all the time now.
Yep. So that extra 5% attack speed is going to help kind of offset the DPS change that this item is receiving from the crit changes, but also we want to make sure that its utility feels stand out.
I feel like
increasing that duration from 6
I feel like because of they're hitting every crit item. I think crit must feel like shit. There's no reason you buff every crit item unless this algorithm change makes crit feel like dog shit.
I thought I hurt you. So next up, it looks like Malice and Poison Star kind of both shared this update note. What's happened to those two items?
Yeah, Malice is gone.
Well, as we mentioned, Malicious Deathbringer and Envenom Deathbringer do exist, and so those two glyphs
wait till you see the new crit item, though.
Taking the effects of both Poison Star
Just
and Malice.
wait,
so
it's coming.
We are removing these items from the game. They will no longer exist in their current state, and instead,
don't say no. Don't say no. It's okay. I promise you, it's okay.
True. Definitely make sure to check those patch notes. It's going to have all of this and those glyphs and there's so many things.
Just wait.
Next up, Atalanta's Bow.
Here it is.
Getting a stat rework. Lots of numbers here.
Yeah, look at those numbers.
What's with that, Pawn?
Yeah, so
same passive.
Atalanta's Bow is kind of always
look at the numbers.
Hit this interesting spot.
Look at how many numbers
having
are.
A really good stat distribution, but not being
what
quite
the
good
fuck
enough to
is that?
when it is too good, it's always picked. So we're gonna make it a bit more.
Look at the stats on that item
that we're gonna fit into. And so this one, we're actually going to be giving it critical strike chance. So you can see here, we got the 40 physical power, the 25% attack speed, 20% critical strike chance, and 10% life steal.
So Rage gives you
a lot of the stats.
Does Rage give you 45 or 50?
It's really the only place where you can get, I think, this
Raids, Deathbringer, and this item gives you like 100 or 90% chance to crit.
Atalanta's bow here, getting that adjustment to make sure that it
a
has
95% chance to crit.
Pairs well with the new crit changes.
So fuck the other items, bro.
Consistent crits now that they're a bit more evenly distributed, as well as the overall damage of crit has been lowered.
Yeah, that's an especially important thing to point out, is that we
and the costs are low, bro.
So we wanted to make sure that you still felt like you had good options to choose for whichever crit item you wanted to go. So that's why we decided to cut the penetration, put on some crit, give you another option.
You get a 90% chance to crit, 100 less gold cost, an upgraded version of Deathbringer if you want it.
Yeah, and I like what
late game crit. I think it's still going to be really fun.
Now representing a line of stats that is relatively unique.
I hate this passive on Atalanta's procs after you get a kill.
Have a new item you can turn to. That's really awesome. Next up, Silver Branch getting kind of a shift. The cost is going up, but the physical pen is also going up. So
that's interesting. 20% pen on Silver Branch.
This is kind of to compensate for the changes happening to Atalanta's.
AA build coming back, boys.
Silver Branch is gaining pen. The difference being that Atalanta's is kind of a fit-all item. You can really build Atalantas on most characters, but Silver Branch really is not super effective unless you're one of those characters that have the super high attack speed steroids, or just have something in your kit that
Wind Demon, Atalanta,
so
Silver Branch,
to those characters that haven't seen a whole lot of plays, like your Roms and your Chernobogs,
pretty interesting,
and characters of that nature. So they'll have this little bit of extra help with that 20% penetration now, and it'll be a little bit easier to
just a lot of pen. You don't need another pen item.
Despite the cost going up, it is really worth it for that extra 10% pen.
Yeah, that's a huge bump. Awesome. Next up, Devourer's Gauntlet getting a buff. Looks like the stack count is going down to 50, and there's some more power per stack though. So what's going on there, Pump?
Devo is in the booth.
We've kind of seen
I'm gonna grab my food real quick.
Kind of come in and out of the meta on its own without much adjustment. But we've actually seen it kind of out of the meta for a while, and we think that's largely due to starter items existing. They kind of change how the early game feels, as well as if you want to actually rush Devo's Gauntlet, you really have to put yourself at a risk because you're starting without one. And so making sure that actually feels rewarding enough, we're going to pretty greatly increase the speed that you get Devo's Gauntlet online at full strength. And we're actually going to bring up the top end of what that full strength is, just a hair.
Yes, that's also the same thing for Lifesteal. Because you do gain Lifesteal per stack, so that is also getting increased to be just a little bit more than it was before. So again, if you do pick this up and you fully stack it, you are getting even more reward for even less stacks. So it's pretty interesting change here.
Yeah, pretty positive for sure. Another buff coming down the line. Looks like Toxic Blade also getting a buff. Again with the stacks and max healing reduction. The item.
Wait, they mentioned Devos for AA junglers? Who said that?
Yeah, so this is just a very slight change. We're just allowing Toxic Blade to stack one more time, which does increase
great
that,
change for Toxic Blade.
Healing reduction from this item from 40 to 60. So if you hit those consecutive autos with this item, they're healing for even less, and you're feeling even better.
It's still shitty ass Toxic Blade.
Sounds like a win-win. All I do is, land those autos. So something that I'll never be able to see. 60%. Hydras Lament also getting a shift. Increased cost a little bit, but it now has pen.
Look at this!
Yep.
Look at this!
That's a pretty exciting change for anyone who wants to.
This is OP!
Between their abilities, and they want that little extra.
They said, let's add pen to an item that's already fucking nuts for no reason at all.
I love playing the characters with the auto attack cancel. So now that this is like actually a viable item instead of just being really good against squishies, I am so
actually viable. What?
Oh yeah, landing as Phantos and do the auto cancel. It's gonna be really good.
But I don't understand this. This is a change I truly don't get. Like, I'm a fucking jungler. This shit makes no sense.
Looking forward to it. Golden Blade also getting a buff. Physical power and
I did not know that. Oh, shit.
What's going on?
So we've been missing a couple of these auto attack assassins from the jungle. We did see a little bit more Merc. We've seen some Kali here and there, and the boy boxer is still kind of MIA. But hopefully these couple of changes coming up, we'll see a little bit of help for them. So a little bit more power, a little bit more attack speed. This item is kind of a crutch more or less to help you clear and help you kind of keep up with everyone else, because ability junglers tend to be a little bit better in the early game, whereas attack speed junglers are really, really solid in the late game if they get there. And that's the problem, right?
If they get there, everyone hits late game.
A little bit easier to kind of path from that early game to the late game with these extra little bit of stats will hopefully increase your chances of getting to a really solid spot with plenty of those auto attack assassins.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Mercury was one of the guys that got me into this game, so I'm excited to see.
Golden Blade's going to be used though.
Damage.
Like that. Those are good stat changes.
Next up, we have Soul Eater getting a buff as well. Looks like increased physical power going up by 5. What's going on there, Pon?
Good.
Yep, and this one's also paired with the Evolved getting a buff as well. The main goals here are Soul Eater brings a lot of sustain for anyone who's using a lot of abilities, but you have to trade off a lot of power for that. And so bringing up a little bit of power up front to make it a bit more easier to start building into and getting those stacks going, as well as just the top end reward of an extra 5 power at the top end to match that 5% increase from before, as well as
I honestly don't know why they're buffing junglers so much.
A little bit more powerful up front, a little bit more powerful.
But they won't change the fucking map to help us out.
To kind of further push this item that has largely not seen too much.
Got it. Sounds super good. And last but not least for items, we have Bloodforge getting a buff as well. Looks like the cost is going down and the movement speed is going up. Bloodforge.
Yeah, so this item has always been that end cap sort of, I am finishing this game here and now, and this is exactly how it's going to happen.
All right,
but
I'll take it,
a little
dude.
bit easier to buy into.
I'll take it.
And giving it a little bit more value outside of that shield.
The Horde jungle build?
To zoom pretty
The
quickly once
Mercury
you get that
build?
shield. Hopefully you get to chain some kills, get yourself that multi-kill, get yourself that pentakill, and you know, use that movement speed to
Mercury
your advantage.
pentas are going to be way more common now with Atalanta's, by the way.
Sick plays with this one's passive.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it as well. I think it's going to be really good. Well, that wraps it up for our item balance. Again, we went over so many things, lots of crazy balance changes, items getting removed to compensate for the new glyphs. All of this can be seen in the update notes. I super recommend you go and check those out because the update notes are going to tell you everything we just talked about for anything that you missed, but also give you, you know, an update on those glyphs we talked about, the ones we weren't able to mention, as well as those new tier 3 relics, all of their awesome passives, and just everything we've talked about. Tons of information, but it's all there. So now we're moving into gods. Now it's time to talk about god balance.
Oh shit, I forgot about god balance.
Clumsy back now. Super excited for that. And let's dive right into it. Clumsy, how about you lead us off by telling us about this big ol' Atlas buff that we're seeing here?
With Pon back, I'm going to leave Atlas for him if he wants to go ahead and get started.
Yeah, you know I can definitely get into it.
Do it, Pon.
All good. Yeah, so Atlas, obviously he's come out. People have been playing around with him. We've seen some success, but he's overall struggling to really kind of have that impact that we really wanted him to have, both in support as well as people who have tried to do play him in solo lane especially. But we want to make sure that the abilities he has, regardless of where he ends up, as well as his role, feel good to use, feel impactful, and that shouldn't come at the cost of trying to exclude him from a specific role. And so our goals here are to make these adjustments. This will probably help him out more in support in general than solo laners, and I still think he probably won't be that great in solo lane, but there's some things that we had removed from him to kind of overcompensate for that, and we're bringing those back and really helping him feel impactful. So general, we're just increasing his base movement speed, HP, and HP per level to make him more tanky just as a front overall. Right now he feels a little bit squishy. He feels like he can't frontline as effectively as he can be. The biggest change, the Astrolabe passive meter has been scaled down, so we'll take up some
That's good.
screen.
That's a good change.
Is now going to get a little bit more base damage, which will really help him clear and poke and harass targets, as well as getting a more powerful slow, so you're more likely to combo that with your gravity pull. You're more likely to slow targets.
He's going to be really strong, dude.
For
Dude, a bite?
Well,
Nope.
or
No bites.
Pull, Atlas is now knockback immune while firing this ability, which means that there's a lot... he's a lot stronger of a counter to a lot of characters, especially for how long this windup is, making sure that players do get pulled into it. So now Bacchus can't just belly.
I really thought Atlas was as good as a support already, so I think he's going to be nuts.
Support, and so that will help him out a ton in actually being reliable and confirming this. And then finally, Connect Charge. This ability will damage minions it passes through. It was not
Wait,
there to
what?
make sure
It's a
it
base slow now?
clear,
What the
but
fuck?
It just felt strange, especially in that same patch we had Medusa get that feature. So making sure that feels more impactful. And more just intuitive to what you'd expect that ability to do. And then also, this now will have a base slow no matter what. We had that so that you had to have a partner next to you to actually get that effect. And that was just too limiting, too restrictive. So now you can charge it at targets, apply that slow, and we've lowered the actual max stacks of how many allies can help you. So you can stack
You're not
the same
jungling on this guy.
75% slow, so it's a bit easier to get to as well. So if you only have 2 people next to you, you can apply that max slow. So lots of all-around abilities to help Atlas out.
His damage numbers are still low as fuck.
He's got the extra clear. He's got the extra utility on Connect Charge.
You can't even fucking use your 3 to clear creeps, right? Oh wait, no, that now. Oh, the 3 now does damage to creep. Yeah, GG. Okay, you can jungle on him. I lied.
Yeah, I know that there
you
was
can jungle on him now.
He dropped. There was
back to the 3. You're good to go.
But every time I saw myself in a Guardian position, it was hard for me not to choose Atlas. I have loved his kit, and I'm excited to see these buffs. Next up looks like Camazotz is getting a nerf. Looks like Devour and Bat Out of Hell are getting touched. So what's going on with that, Clumsy?
Yeah, a lot of the nerfs we have coming up are, still being catered off of the SWC and the qualifiers that we had previously played. We think with 9.1 coming up, this patch is going to be pretty crazy with a lot of things, but these got specific.
I'm eating a chicken strip sub, and I put mozzarella sticks on it.
Well, in this case, maybe a little
and
bit
some French fries.
So Camazotz, his sustain was obviously a little bit too high. We did the changes with his ulti previously, which increased the quality of life on that one. It was definitely, felt as a buff. So we're going to be decreasing, increasing the cooldown on that one, decreasing the damage to make it a little bit less painful when he does get it off successfully.
Awesome. Oh, not awesome because I love Camazotz, but awesome for people who don't like Camazotz. So
these cool nerfs are needed. Camazotz is really fucking strong right now, dude.
Well, looks like Radiance and Disapparate. I can never say that one right. I'll leave that to you.
Disapparate. Yep. So we have Soul just being pretty powerful, just a potent mage ADC, kind of hybrid mage. And the things that she brings are, she has that kind of on-demand ability to bring a lot of damage with Radiance's passive heat generation. So we're just going to be taking the edge off that, so it's not so free.
Those passive is broken as fuck.
As well as with Disapparate, that move is very, very safe if you can get it off. It can immune a whole bunch of damage and give you that movement speed burst to really kind of get away from a fight. We're going to be increasing the cooldown so that happens a bit less often, as well as we're decreasing the movement speed so you're not able to move as freely with that ability.
Sounds good to me. Securing kills on Soul has always been hard, so maybe I'll be able to do it now. Bastet coming up next,
is
also getting a nerf to Razor Whip and Huntress of Bast. What's happening with that, Clumsy?
So we obviously had the Bastet ultimate ability.
They added sound to the ult. We were talking about that, dude.
Very, very strong. But
bro, I swear they listen to my stream. I fucking swear to God they listen to my stream.
Actually a pretty strong god with a lot of damage, and that's kind of the thing. With the ulti rework, we didn't want to just nerf other parts of our kit immediately, but now is about that time. So decreasing the damage off of Razor Whip just made sense because it actually just does a whole lot of damage. And then increasing
those are a lot of nerfs.
We did that once for the ultimate, but
that's like a lot of nerfs right there.
Get affected by it quite a lot, and we're gonna be increasing it once again, but scaling down to that same 90 seconds at max rank.
Awesome. It sounds like we're talking about nerfing the cat. I feel like I hear a cat complaining now, so we should probably move on before we cause too much trouble. Yeah. So next up, Odin also getting a nerf. Looks like Lunge is getting a bit of a revert, as well as Raven Shout.
Oh, so, no more solo Odin, but he's getting a hot dog skin.
He's been a very popular pick. He brings a lot of utility to his team and just kind of consistent damage, safety, frontline capability, as well as that ultimate that can really punish certain team compositions. He's been kind of on a fine bouncing point of us having to softly revert a few things that we've done over the last year and a half or so, right? That's about when we reworked him. Time flies. It's actually really hard to the timeline put it.
Glizzardin?
But yeah, this is just one of those things that we had given him to really help him out. Thinks he's a bit too potent in what he's doing, so we're going to take away that by reverting the cooldown change we had. So that's going to take him a second longer to lunge in or get a shield up, which matters over the long course of a whole game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those 1 seconds definitely do build up. So next up, Nike getting a nerf as well. Sentinel of Zeus getting touched. What's going on there, Clumsy?
As we spoke about a little bit earlier with the item,
they're pushing for soul laners to be like Bologna and shit again, dude.
We're going to be touching that with these next two characters. Nike Shield, we're going to be decreasing it across the board, just making her a little bit less potent. We're seeing her picked up quite a lot. It almost felt like out of nowhere, but with the SWC, she's one of those characters that are extremely highly valued. So hitting that ultimate across all ranks.
Awesome. Sounds good. Gab also getting a nerf. Stone Shield kind of getting knocked off a little bit. What's going on with that, Pawn?
Yep, a very similar story here. We were looking at shields as a whole, and we're just going to be decreasing the overall scaling of that as well as the duration to make sure that you have to be a bit more tactical when you use it. You have to make sure that you're using it when your targets are going to be taking damage, as well as just bringing down the top end of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Definitely, that's one of those. It's super great utility item. It makes sense to kind of make sure that you're using it appropriately instead of a blanket for all problems. So Arachne up next, getting a buff. Looks like Web is getting a decreased cooldown. So what's going on there?
You can't just lead with the fact that that's all you're doing next time.
We're into the fun buffs, right? What's more fun than the Arachne buff? So yeah, a lot of these next characters are going to be things that you may not see these gods as much, or if they are there, maybe they're sleeper, and we'll get into that a little bit.
This change is a sleeper.
Gods who when you do see her played, maybe she's played in the hands of someone who's really, really good with her, but across the board, Rack is really not that easy
Yeah,
to
boy.
play. So Web, 16 seconds is actually quite long, so we're going to be bringing that down to 14.
Fair enough. I mean, Spider likes making webs. It only makes sense. Amaterasu coming up next on the buff train. Heavenly Reflection getting a revert in the positive direction. So what's going on there, Pom?
Yeah, so just Amaterasu as a whole brings a lot of interesting utility to your team, but hasn't really seen much success or play. And one thing that we had done was we lowered the damage that Heavenly Reflection did at a base as well as fully charged, and we're just going to bring that back. We're going to make sure that this feels impactful when you just quick fire it, as well as if you do get the full charge off, it's going to really
buffing Ama. All you Ama crybabies are getting your wishes.
Awesome. No, AJ's going to love that one. So Jormungandr up next, kind of a buff as well. Got a couple things to his general play style, immovable and venomous haze. So let's get into it, Clumsy.
Yeah, Jormungandr was very, very strong during his release time, and ever since then, he's been hit with a lot of nerfs, and there was a time where he was just, like I said, he's played quite a bit. And after all those nerfs, we've been struggling to find a really good spot with him to bring him back. Obviously we had the times where Guardians were in the solo lane a lot. Jormungandr, other than the arrow strat, wasn't quite seen. So we're gonna be hitting him in a couple of different places to make sure that we can bring him back. But we don't want him to.
Will they cancel Worlds due to COVID? No, they've already moved it out of the studio.
We're gonna be hitting his
for the most part,
giving him a little bit more of that. Also doing that kind of on his passive as well. So if you're getting hit by those hard crowd controls, you're gonna be the self slow and the damage decrease is going to be, or increase is actually going to be lowered by a little bit more. And Venomous Haze, one of those abilities that people kind of take for granted a little bit. Obviously, before you could use it to take the totem a little bit. Now you're not even seeing that being the case. We're going to increase the potency on the damage and the slow for that one.
Awesome.
I am recording.
Always happy to see Snack come back in glorious fashion. So Tier buff coming up next. Tier's on the block with Lawbringer being getting a little more positive love. How about that, Pom?
Yeah,
holy shit!
As an ultimate does provide a
Jungle
lot of utility
tier?
for him to really engage and be effective with.
I'm down.
Like to actually fight someone. But in regards to the damage it brings, like a warrior, it's actually just very low. And so when you engage with it, if he didn't actually pick someone, he didn't really contribute too much.
They increased it across the board too. Like the level 1 is up 50.
Like actual rewarding
50, 75.
Your ultimate. So that extra damage is going to help out a lot. And then if he does follow up, he's going to be even more successful in picking a target and killing them.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with seeing Tier come into the
fast hands.
More, although he does scare me. Baba Yaga up next, getting a buff as well. Baba's Brew and Home Sweet Home both getting touched on. So what's going on with Baba Yaga?
Oh, that's a small number. I thought that was 335.
The stacking items being a little bit stronger, a few patches ago, especially with the Book of the Dead build coming up. You think
Home Sweet Home, removing the self root.
But Baba's Brew is still one of those abilities that
that's
doesn't
nice.
Quite hit the wave as easily, or as strongly as you think it would, or as easily. And it's because of
PTS
that
might be up today. They said
be restricting her playstyle in the mid a little bit. So we're gonna be increasing that damage just a little bit, just 10 damage across all the ranks to make sure that we don't get her too strong. But also Home Sweet Home, the ultimate. Now this is gonna be interesting. We're gonna be removing the self root on fire, giving a little bit more flexibility.
That's nice.
So hopefully
that's minor, but that's a minor change, but a huge quality of life
change. That'll definitely be that'll help out with getting that ult off in those tighter situations, especially those team fight situations. So next up we got a buff for Chernobog. Looks like Shifter of Seasons and Bramble Blast getting a little bit.
Finally buffing CERN.
What's going on with that, Pon?
Yeah, so the main goal is just to make sure that Shifter of Season does feel impactful enough when you're choosing to focus on it. You have a lot of things you can min-max optimize.
Oh, they're crippling.
Applying debuffs and applying slows. Just making sure that when you do play with this,
they added the cripple back, boys.
Rewarding enough, as well as I think the.
Oh no, it was a stun before, wasn't it?
A direct hit now applying root and cripple instead.
You ain't getting away, bitch.
Really means that when you do hit that skill shot, you're going to be really getting that extra lockdown utility.
Cripple makes it so you can't leap or dash out of
just
it.
That extra thing that he can do to control the lane and really find a moment to really.
It was a cripple before. That's what I thought. I don't know why that was taken off. That's not even OP.
So we're moving on to Chernobog now. Chernobog getting a buff. Looks like Heart of Cold and Crystallized Curses moving forward.
Yeah, so Chernobog's one of those gods where he's doing well when we have Barracuda on him, but now Barracuda's not even playing him, so he might need a little bit of a buff, and that's going to be coming in the form of the passive and the Crystallized Curses. The passive going to be getting a little bit of a damage increase, but the big one's going to be the Crystallized Curses, kind of one of the abilities that people try and use as effectively as they can, but really it's that projectile speed and the range that hold them back. And so by increasing the range a little bit and decreasing the projectile, or increasing the projectile speed and making that a little bit faster to come out, you're gonna be able to be a little bit more flexible with that ability.
Awesome. Nothing wrong with a little bit of changes to scary flying guy. Speaking of flying,
Barabog or Chernakuda.
Updraft and Fracture getting touched as well. So let's talk about it, Pon.
What the fuck?
So Horus is that kind of like warrior support solo laner, but he can't quite do enough utility to really bring out his support role. He can't really quite do enough damage to bring out a solo or more like kill lane potential. And so we're really just looking to
what is this cooldown shit at the end?
Have additional scaling, which will just help him if he wants to build more bruisery,
Horus Bungo
like, damage, as well as the extra
crit
damage
Horus
to help him clear the wave. And the cooldown reduction is going to be a big deal in regards to being able to consistently like lock down opponents, get that extra wave clear off. And then finally, Fracture, increasing the cleave damage from 190 to 220 at the top rank, is going to really help him lock down a target and bring the extra damage that might result in a kill, especially early lane. Getting the extra damage off is going to be very impactful there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Going to help with those early game picks to just start shifting the game right away. That's awesome. Chronos coming up next, getting a buff to Time Lord. What's going on there, Clumsy?
So we talked about mage ADCs a little bit. We had Soul obviously getting nerfed. We had Telkine's ring getting hit a little bit. Chronos is one of those gods that even, with those changes, he's still not really been in the limelight too much. He's one of the ones that's also really scary. And we were looking at his kit and we're like, you know what? The passive is kind of the only thing that we think that can really buff without feeling too bad about it. And that's really just because getting the maximized amount of power at 50 minutes.
Oh, they're minutes.
Especially when you might not only be playing Chronos.
Bro, I didn't know it was 50 minutes.
Just, a little bit crazy.
What so the fuck were they thinking?
To scale to the same amount of power.
Why the fuck were you hitting max passive at 50 minutes?
So, you may still not get there in some of your other shorter games, but
the last time I played a 50-minute game. What the fuck?
Yeah, especially on those really long games where you get those
what are they thinking?
It's like, all right, like anything can decide to win.
Motherfuckers be getting their full passive at like 3 minutes on some gods, so they said,
coming up next,
Chronos,
also getting a buff.
Looks
like Shadowlock is getting a little love. What's going on with that, Vaughn?
Yeah, so we're just increasing the minion damage here to make sure that Nox has that extra utility to clear the wave. We've done this a few times in both giving this damage and buffing it before. Making sure that this feels impactful that you can help clear the wave with. One of her pain points specifically in Conquest is her ability to clear the wave consistently against other mages. And so making this more potent is going to help out a ton. And then we've also
holy fuck!
It's very clear that this damage is.
I don't want Nox to get to the point where she's actually like.
Yeah,
played.
Always good to make sure people read it. And they're like, "Why is my damage?" It's in the notes. It's right there.
Yep.
It's to minions. So cool. And looks like the final buff going on here is Set getting a buff to a couple different things: Funeral Rites, Wing Gust, Spirit Ball, a whole array of stuff. So what's going on with that, Clumsy?
Yeah, it's definitely a
life change. They buffed the late game Spirit Ball. That shit already hits hard as fuck, dude.
The aura radius are things that we think could help her out. But we also, like I said, with some of these other characters, want to be very careful with how strong we bring them. You said was really strong after her rework.
Interesting.
We've seen some ways of bringing that back forwards, and Spirit Ball, even with the damage change.
I don't think that's ESET support buffs. I think that's more like mage buffs. But you do you, bro. You do whatever you want to do.
Awesome.
Kitty agrees.
Well, super cool. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it. Well, that covers it for our balance. That was gods, items, we had relics, we had glyphs, so many things, and some things are still shifting and changing. Some things are still in the works. So make sure you check out those update notes that are live right now to see what's locked in, and any changes are reflected there as well, because this is a ton of stuff. We're still learning how it's impacting the game, how it's going to edit some things. So just make sure you keep your eyes on those update notes for all of the best information, and to really learn about all of these for if you miss what we talked about today, or for the things that we just weren't able to get to today. So we have one more thing to talk about. We now have Lermy and Ajax back. Welcome back. Glad to have y'all.
Many more things to talk about still.
Well, one more thing in this section, but like a million great things to talk about. Yeah, don't let me get y'all steered off. So we have an exciting little visual rework we get to share. Not even little, exciting big.
Oh, it's Apollo.
To share. Apollo is getting some love. Look at the boy.
They made him have a face.
He's beautiful.
That's stylish.
They gave him a face.
So beautiful.
Real good.
I absolutely love it.
Hey,
that's
he definitely
awesome.
looks better. He definitely looks better. Yeah, he looks better.
So
but his card art looks 1,000 times better than this shit.
We've done a few of these throughout season 8.
His skin really looks old and wrinkly here.
Apollo is the next god on the list. Really wanted to improve his visuals to feel like it fits with more modern
Some wrinkly
Smite
arms,
and meets
boys.
your expectations for what you expect from this
Chad
gloriously beautiful god of music. So you've got a completely new default model, recolor, and masteries. The classic
The armor
model will
is
still be available for
really
players to
fucking
purchase,
crisp.
and the voice pack is going to be remaining unchanged. Character's not having any other kit changes, no changes to his abilities or anything like that, but there are some other animation.
Oh, he looks a lot different. What the
particle
fuck?
effects and
I like
audio
his
tweaks
autos.
to kind of just bring Apollo into the modern day of Smite.
Like the hand placement for the autos.
And yeah, we're going to see some of
Those
that.
colors
now
look more
in-game.
defined.
Just,
I don't know why.
What a beautiful character model. Like, absolutely love it.
And as Lermy can back us up, he's hot.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah, can confirm. 10 out of 10. I'm here for it.
That was a major goal with the rework for Apollo.
Yeah. Make sure
he
that
got a totally new
when
chariot
the news
and
came
horse as well, I believe.
Yeah, the chariot's just like a base.
He looks good
He
on
also
it
did
too.
some cool new treatments with
yeah.
his wrist weapons, and you're also getting an additional preview of the Season 9 Conquest map here. You look into the distance, you can see the Shiva.
I'm just sad that the map is the same, bro. Like, why?
There's a bunch of new
beautiful. I love
architecture
it.
scattered around the map as well. It looks
Why did we
so
get map
nice.
changes?
And I mean, getting to see it as this amazing new Apollo model, I mean, I am just more than thrilled.
You refused to play him because he wasn't
many
hot.
good-
Now you can actually play him.
We're not going to do any spoilers on who's next to be remodeled, but we are going to keep this as a priority throughout the year. Hopefully, be getting to
Oh, shit, what the
one
fuck?
other god. There's the recolor.
I made him emo.
Yeah, looking great. I love the hair.
Just the way that his like gaze is that bright, like vivid white yellow, like that is amazing.
I hope Merc is
love
up next.
The way that he's
I love the
looking
dazed
at
minions.
They're
They're just
Bad
like,
boy
whoa.
Apollo.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's what happens when you see a god.
True. That's what happens when I'm going to see that in game. I'll be in arena and I'll be like, all right, can we just stop for a sec? I want to admire.
Razy, I forgot. He actually.
the mastery as well.
Horse cameo? That looks nice.
True.
Oh no, he's hot.
That gives you a really good look at the new weapon and how it
Yeah.
like, really has changed a lot.
Same idea.
I think the map should be
whole new
bigger.
execution. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it's just something I absolutely love about that. So y'all can look out for a brand new hot Apollo coming with 9.1. Super excited about it. But now let's move on to some community news. We have all kinds of things to talk about.
The
As I
weapon does look a lot better.
previously, there's a ton of content. So let's get into it. First of all, I just want to thank everybody for the great HRS we've had today. It's been such an awesome day, but it's just the beginning. It really is. There are so many things for us to get into, and I couldn't be more excited for this to continue. Starting tomorrow with Throwback Thursday, make sure y'all are prepared for that. We have so many cool things prepared for y'all. It was a day that we really wanted to bring to life because there's just such a rich history with Smite, and we want to be able to share that. So tomorrow's Throwback Thursday is going to be great. And then here's kind of our calendared layout. We have all kinds of things happening between now and Sunday, with Sunday obviously having the grand finales for finals, but we have just 1.5 million things happening. So lock in, clear your calendar, and get excited because HRS and SWC.
That World's Rewind is going to be 6 hours? What the fuck? Oh, they're showing all the finals matches.
As well, SWC is happening
That's a lot of
now.
games.
That's going on. The games are starting Friday.
That's a lot
and
of games.
we're going to be hitting the peak on Sunday with the finals, the grand finals. So be ready for that. We're super excited to see who comes out on top this year and see who conquers Season 8. And we also have some merch that we're excited to share. SWC has championship jerseys, joggers. We have mouse pads, water bottles. Pick them up. Make sure you grab them. Support your team and let people know who your favorites are. Make sure to tweet if you get any of these. Make sure to tweet, ping your favorite team, and let everybody know who you're rooting for because this is the hypest time of year. So we're excited to get into it. So that'll do it for our news for right now. Again, super excited for everything. So as y'all saw earlier, we're joined now by Hydras Honey. So how are you?
Good. How are you? I'm so excited.
Yeah, so excited. I've been sleepless for 2 weeks now. It's just so many things I've been looking forward to. This week is I'm going to sleep probably in this chair. So just to let y'all know, if I look like more disheveled as the week goes, it's because I have not been able to pull myself away from the screen. But let's get into some skins. we have all kinds of cool skins to talk about today. And the first one is going to be the Season 9 ranked reward, Grave Golem Geb.
He's so spooky. I love him.
Yeah, spooky boy. He's got like a skeletons like all throughout his arms. He just kind of popped right up out the ground.
Literally in him.
Yeah, I love how like the angel's head, like in his base, is like floated off and just become Geb's head now. That's so creepy.
That is. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, this is going to be the Season 9 reward.
That's a pretty good skin though. It is creative.
Something to strive for. Let's hear the voice line.
Brought to life by a monster we never knew. A body ancients of Halkers.
This kind of shit should drop for like Halloween though.
Let's lay the enemy to rest.
I think it's kind of weird to drop this shit.
That is both spooky and kind of convenient because he wants to lay them to rest. And he is the graveyard, so he can just be like, "Come on home, it's fine."
Very fitting.
Very fitting. Totally agree. Next up, we have the Colossus chest, bringing Atlas his first skin, Corroded Colossus.
Skin's
Atlas,
pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie.
Woolat.
That card art is so sick. I love the angle that we're looking at him at. Just like he's slamming down the astrolabe straight in our face. Just like, here I am. Here is the sky that I've held up, and now you've got to carry
it's pretty meh skin, dude.
Your turn.
You gonna show
Truly pondering the orb, yeah, for sure. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty fucking meh.
The purple hue looks so awesome with this guy.
I totally agree. And like, I've been so in love with Atlas. And seeing this like fully armored, covered in metal aesthetic, really works. That like
card art clickbait. I like that.
Iron Knight man, just I don't know. I think it's an aesthetic that fits him perfectly. Let's hear what the voice sounds like.
My body has been forged to withstand entire armies. Come, puny gods, let us see if you can mar my form.
Epic. So epic.
So cool.
So epic. Literally chills right now. I am
deck
so excited to non-stop auto-lock
speed rod of security upgrade is going to be absolutely
so next up, we have the Season Pass 2022 coming out with Space Scoundrel Donzaboro.
Calling it now.
And
potential, Daddy Kesper, potential.
Look at him.
It could happen. Ooh, what the fuck? I didn't see this. Look at this little boy.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Does this gun have like
look at him
angry teeth things? Like piranhas or something.
He's so
little. The coolest thing I have seen all day.
Little feet.
Oh my goodness.
I absolutely love him. Oh, look at him.
He's way uglier in game. Holy
he's got,
fuck.
That bulldog face with the
like the big old jaw.
He's so cute.
I love he has a little fish tank gun too. That's so great.
Card art clickbait, boys.
Oh, I'm so excited.
They took him from
Donzaboro is actually again part of our Season Pass 2022.
From one of the more cute skins in the game to this. Real quick.
The Space Scoundrel loading screen, the most one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it reminds me of something from like Ratchet and Clank shit.
For every newly released god in 2022. Including the god itself, if you don't own the god pack, so you'll not only get every new.
Still gonna use the skin. Don't get me wrong.
Coming season 9.
I like the little piranha fish in the gun.
And all of
Does he shoot piranha fish? Because if that's the case, that's sick.
Hear the voice line.
Scavenging the outer solar system is just my side gig. Bounty hunting is what I was born to do.
All right, so I don't know if it's just me, but that like.
That voice fits
echoey shit they add to some of these voices,
absolutely
I think it ruins all of them.
That is super awesome, and again, part of the Season Pass.
I don't like that.
Make sure that y'all
I want it to be a crisp, clean voice, whether it's troll, funny, deep, whatever the fuck it is.
So, super excited. Next up, we have our new Battle Pass, but let's not forget the Battle Pass we're on right now.
Yeah, like that voice by itself would have been really good. Oh, it is on screen. You're right. Good save.
can't forget that battle pass or that video or Transformers. So make sure that y'all are finishing that battle pass up, because there's skins that you do not want to miss there. And, you know, it's gone with Season 9.1. But it will be replaced by something super awesome, the new Hellfire Syndicate battle pass. So super great aesthetic. You're going to love it. And let's get right into it with Crimson Kraken Poseidon.
Oh my goodness. I love this aesthetic so much.
Yeah, it's kind of that I don't know, like demon mobster, demon gangster type thing. Absolutely.
This is Poseidon. I hope it looks good in game, please.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't even notice that. Look at it. Look at his shoulders on fire. That's awesome.
Oh wow.
I don't know. That's okay. It's pretty good.
Dude,
Yeah,
true.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Real nice.
Yeah, and the horns. Yeah, you're totally right. That's
Poseidon has
awesome.
a lot of skins, though, dude.
I am super excited about this, and
the animations are gonna make or break the skin for me.
Let's hear the voice line on this one.
Come on now, I'm not gonna let you have all the fun without me.
I'm so tired of this like echoey second voice undertone bullshit, man. All the voices have it.
Let's go in game.
Why?
Kraken real quick. Let's do that.
Oh, show me the abilities. That's cool, Kraken. A fiery like.
Oh, that's awesome.
One is cool, but I'm pretty sure he has like a fiery one, doesn't he?
Fire and everything. Looks buff too.
Yeah, kind of.
I think his body, like the body shape, is cool.
Normally it's so watery, but now we got a big fiery boy.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Look at him.
So much fire. So much
and
fire.
like the hair. Oh, and like
wow.
the skull head.
That is a big boy.
Oh, that's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, this is my new favorite Poseidon skin. Sorry, Poseidon, gotta sit down a sec here.
I feel like every time a Poseidon skin drops, that's what happens.
This is a basic skin.
You see this Kraken,
it's cool. They're putting a bunch of other really good skins out, so I understand
it's hard to have this many favorite Poseidon skins. Super awesome. So next up, we have Miss Misery Nike in the game.
Oh shit!
Wow. Look at her. Yes.
Look at her. Stunner. I love the like flamey skull too on her like upper, what's that, thigh? I can't think of muscles.
Her stockings?
Yeah, like with the flame, like the purple flaming skull. That's awesome. Oh yeah, look at him.
I just love how these two skins are the same theme, but they've taken such a different color direction. Like this one's really like reaching into the purple, whereas the last one was red.
Why is everyone saying step on me? What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Same theme, but they can.
Her feet look kind of jacked up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I love the red jacket because like even though that is like the little bit of red, I feel like it contrasts with the purple focus so much.
Crazy starts the chant, dude. Of course.
Let's hear the voice line.
Running this business makes me realize that nothing can come between me and my family.
Doing double fucking voice.
So that's that mob
bullshit.
Vibe, you know, the mob is the family. That is super awesome. I love the wings.
It's a good skin. I don't like many of the Nike skins, so this is a solid skin.
So next up, we have Devil Punk Daji along in this battle pass.
This is just tattoo Daji.
Wow. I am so excited for this skin.
Wow.
Right?
I like the hair combo.
Scary, but like in the best
Please
way.
look good in game for the love of everything in this world.
I like the like,
recolor. Is that a recolor?
That is horribly horribly scary. Like
yeah, this is like that's what I said. It's like the tattoo one. They just wanted to make a red version of it.
It just looks so cool.
Yeah, sick. And the like the skull with the vines on the the pants there.
Okay, it's a pretty good skin.
Oh, wow, I mean, look at
and we already know you guys are gonna be all about the mommy milkers.
Radiance down, that is awesome. And there's like even a little movement in it.
Yeah, it's kind of like fire.
That's a good skin.
Know?
It's really basic, but it's a really good skin.
Battle
the gold like fingers kind of pull it together.
That is super awesome. Absolutely love this skin. Absolutely, I'm terrified for her to appear out of thin air and destroy me. So that'll be cool. And last but not least, we have the Angel of Death Thanatos skin. So let's check that one out. Oh.
Wow.
When
I saw this, I kind of felt like they were about to partner with like Lucifer or some shit from Netflix.
The boss.
Yeah, this guy is the big bad of the gang. I mean, he has to be, right? With a look like that.
Yeah. You don't have that great of a beard and not be the boss.
I guess that's the determinant.
Chadatos? All the Chads this time around?
Yeah.
Why could they make the scythe cooler,
I really
though?
love the detail in his wings.
He looks dope. I like the look.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, why not
There's
more? Why not a different weapon, like a weapon that fit him?
I mean, you can tell he's the boss. Look at the way he's looking down.
Fingers
like,
a little jacked
up. He looks
up.
up to nobody. He looks down at people. That's boss vibes. Let's hear the voice line.
Nothing like a little jaunt around town to
That's
get the blood
4 echo voices, bro. They're all the same.
Get the blood flowing, indeed. You know, as with any skin that's this boss, you can't just look at it.
All of them, dude.
Here. We gotta see it in game. So I have been told that the one is having some issues now. It will be fixed come patch, but just for now, it's been a little silly.
Cool. What?
But
still looks.
I think it looks cool. Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh, it still looks so cool. The fire is just unbelievable to look at.
Yeah, look at that trail coming off the site.
He's gonna
That's
bug
how you
this
know
shit.
he's hunting you.
Yeah, I love that it goes from like that kind of yellowish orange fire to the really dark red as it trails off. That's so cool looking.
Oh, and now it's time. Oh my goodness, the spin!
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
Wow. Oh, and he points at you? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy
literally
cool.
I'm coming for you. You're done. That spin is just you're so right.
That's a really good Thanatos skin, considering Thanatos has
Absolutely
actually
great. I
really
super love
simple, clean skins that I like. It's all about the animations, dude. Animations can make a skin 10 times better than it actually is.
Awesome. So next up, we have a new event coming with 9.1 that we are calling the Dharmic Era event. So the Dharmic Era event is actually it's similar to Yulefest in a way, but it's to highlight oh my gosh, the name's the Hindu. It's to highlight the Hindu pantheon, how much we love them, and how much they are affecting the season 9, especially the beginning of season 9. So with this, it's going to start with every 2 weeks, there'll be a new bundle release that has 4 exclusive items to this event. And on release, the bundle is going to cost 900 gems. When the next bundle comes out, it'll be 1,200 gems. So, you know, we love starting
Hydras makes so much money.
We want everybody to have this stuff. If you get 2 of the bundles, you're going to get an exclusive Rama skin, which we'll be seeing in a minute, of course. And if you get 4, you'll get an unlimited Loki skin that we'll also be seeing in a minute.
This Loki skin is cool.
Be excited because the Loki skin is amazing. This will also have a questing component to it as well. The questing component will be free to everybody.
So he just bought gems really using my code, my link. Use my link to buy gems when this shit comes out.
The codex of Hindu gods. And
prep now, actually, because they're on sale. Gems are on sale. Buy them now.
For this are going to be trying to see all of the Hindu gods in game, and this includes playing as them, against them, or with them on your team.
And I scored
so
a drop.
there will be stuff like that you'll be able to complete, and it should be super fun for everybody. We're super excited to be able to share that with y'all. But yeah, so look out for that event coming out, and look out for some of the skins like Honorable Hero Rama.
Ooh. Yes. That looks so classy with all the gold.
Yeah.
Honorable indeed.
So honorable.
Oh, and he's just taking down the Naga too. Like, wow, already in the midst of things.
Yeah, true. We caught him mid-action. That's super awesome. So absolutely love that. Just the look of confidence too. Unbelievable.
Oh wow, look at that bow. I love the details on it.
So ornate. I also love. I don't know. I just love the shoes. Like I just they're super awesome. I need to get myself a pair of those shoes. I don't know where you even get those, but I'm gonna be looking.
Or where you wear them, but you know what? They do be styled.
True, 100%. Yeah, let's hear the voice line.
Ravan and his army shall pay.
That they shall, and pay in style. Next up, we have, and this one's also exciting, Prototype 2.0 Charybdis.
I wasn't even looking. What the fuck was that skin?
My goodness.
What the fuck was that nasty ass skin, bro?
Oh, I can't wait to see the Maw with this skin. You can kind of see it in the background there, but I mean, that's gonna look so sick.
This is a really I like this. This is just basic. These are the basic skins. I want to see the crazy ones.
Like the super cyber and modern. I guess futuristic. Modern is a lie. And the eye color.
I looked up.
Yeah, right. She has 2 different colored eyes normally, so you can.
The dude is like, I can't even make my body like that.
Yeah,
like this, but like squished. His head was flat.
Haram and Leah tipped $9.11. Haram and
I love that the pattern on the cloak is also like on the Maw as well.
The gems. I like this skin. It's a good skin. It's just good to have extra skins for these gods that are simple.
Yeah, his little cyber eyes, his cute little,
his little face,
giant
dude.
Mechanical death jaw.
I like the death jaw sick on that. The mechanical one, the colors they use are dope.
M4W, are you ready? Good.
Stay Frosty 28 tipped $8.36.
Was that echoey?
Stay Frosty 28
that is the season 9 vibe. That is exactly. I've been saying that all week.
That seems semi-echoey, not the way normally, but it was like they were in an empty room.
I'm super happy to see that. Next up, we got a kind of a spooky boy.
It wasn't double voice. It was empty room voice. Why can't it just be normal?
Wow, this is so different from any other Kukulkan skin I have seen. Wow.
Yeah, that's.
I love these
crazy.
fucking colors,
also,
dude.
The giant skull face? What?
Yeah, this is not your really normal friendly dragon.
Yeah, true. I bet him and Grave Geb get along.
Oh, they probably do. Oh, wow.
That is so horrifying.
Bro, he looks kind of like the thing from Tremors.
The, like, skull face at the head of that, and the arms all bound up is crazy.
His little head is like the thing that comes out of Tremors, the Tremors mouse.
Bound there by chains. Like, Kukulkan has skins with arms, but never like that. Whoa.
I like it.
That is so both awesome.
I like the wings. The wings are dope.
Super spooky.
It looks like they're actually doing something.
Like. A fresh battlefield means fresh subjects. How shall I torment them all?
Look at that go get 'em attitude.
Officially spooked. It's not Halloween anymore, guys.
Yeah, but this
it's all echo.
It's always the spooks in your heart. Next up, and I'm so excited about this one. We have Croaky Loki.
This is a good skin. This is the best.
Oh my God.
This one and the fucking hot dog skin, god tier.
Yes.
I'm madly in love.
Oh my goodness! Look at his little lizard friend.
Oh, yeah,
buddy.
I love the blue too. He just looks so nice.
Oh my gosh, he's actually in the model. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's a
That is so great.
What's the movie with the lizard and he's like in the West, it's like a Western lizard movie? They could go that route with the fucking look. Rango, yeah, Rango. They could have gone that route easy with this, dude.
Let's hear what he sounds like.
I'm afraid to leave the pond, but I know there is adventure to be had out there.
He sounds like the Geico Gecko. What the fuck?
I absolutely love it. He's just ready for
what
adventure.
The fuck?
And
they gave him the Geico Gecko voice.
Look at the friend.
Just hanging out, enjoying the ride.
Oh, that skin's good.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. This skin is so... Oh.
This is a good skin. Too. Holy fuck.
Oh no, he's chained
Anonymous
up.
tip
I know that's like what every Loki does, but
Anonymous bought
set my little guy free.
Still, yeah.
Exemplar title from them tipped.
Sometimes the adventures take crazy turns, but he's there for it.
I like it. I like it.
So awesome. Again, I just love how
feels like,
it is. Like all the
more prominent. I don't know what the model. It just feels bigger and like it does. Like it's more space, more filling.
Like wow, this sure is. Yeah.
Wow, this sure is great that we're killing all these guys.
Yeah. Hey, wow,
just along for the ride.
Good job. Oh, I absolutely love it.
Geico should sponsor me, and I'll play this skin once a day.
Oh my god, the head bob! I can't. This skin's too much, you guys.
I know.
Oh yeah, the lizard bounces back and forth.
That's gonna be a matchup. Absolutely.
I love the colors of the fucking tail.
Super exciting, and yeah, that's gonna be the final skin for the Dharmic Era event. So look out for that in 9-1. It's awesome. It highlights how amazing the Hindu pantheon is, and we're super excited to share that with you and for y'all to take part in that. I think you're gonna love the quests. I really do. So that does it for our new skins, 491. So many awesome things.
Yeah, wait, they didn't show Odin skin?
We still have some awesome left in the show, though. We're not done yet. Next up, y'all get to see a little bit about Slash.
Anonymous tip $3.14.
See y'all there.
Anonymous bought 2,500 gems from.
We'll buy gems using the link, boys. Slash should be fun. I want to run like a league in Slash for the start of the season, start of the year. I think we're gonna bring back Sub League, but it's gonna be played on Slash. Cleage, Slash.
Anonymous tip $8.36. Anonymous bought 8,000.
I want to know what that is, because that model they put on that is sick. Like, that's a really cool model. It looks like some Pokemon style shit.
That's right.
That's the 25th is when the patch hits. 20 days, boys.
Long awaited, super hyped, and well worth the wait.
You think it's a Titan?
I'm joined again by Ajax and Clumsy. Glad to have y'all back.
You think that's the end, like the in base ender?
Awesome. So let's get into Slash. There's so many. It's a brand new map. It's a brand new game mode.
How does Nexus work? It gives you a code. You put the code into your game. It only works on PC though.
I mean, let's get into the stats.
I think it's supposed to only work on PC.
The first new permanent game mode that's been added to Smite in many years. The goal of Slash
was
the
to Juggernaut replacement. We'll see here.
Pieces of Siege
Kobo
and
tip
Clash.
$8.36.
Bring those together
Kobo
in
1,000 gems in Smite.
one
Exemplar
unique
title.
experience that stands out amongst the rest of Smite game modes. Right? You've got Conquest, our core competitive mode. You have Arena, which is more about the fighting, right? And not having to focus on strategy as much. You've got Joust as 3v3. You've got your Assault as your ARAM mode. And then we kind of had a few other modes, right? Between Adventures, old days Domination, and Siege and Clash. So we're all kind of vying for the same space, which was something that was somewhere in between Conquest and Arena. Something that focused a lot on combat, but still had some traditional strategic elements. And we really
got two lanes. They widen the middle.
For a game mode to be.
They put the red buff more like where the old fucking main boss was.
It's really nice to have towers and lanes, but not to be so restricted to the roles and positions of the Conquest map. So finding something like that in that sweet spot was something really important to us. And Slash is our brand new, all new, very exciting game mode to fit that spot. So what you're going to be getting here is a 5v5 game mode where players are going to start at level 3 with 1,500 gold, kind of the standard rule set. There's no banned items, so none of those weird siege rules like where you can't buy wards and stuff like that. This game mode is going to be a true active game mode that's going to work for win of the days. You're going to be able to earn full XP and worshiper stats through this.
Oh, it is the Titan, you're right. Yeah.
And Siege and Clash are going to be removed as queues at the time we will be implementing this, but they will be remaining.
I think Double J is getting fucked.
Custom games. So as you can see, upon our
it's going to be hard for Double J to make his content.
It is
with the map being as big as it is. This map is.
We have a brand new animated Titan model in the Quetzal bird.
This map is big. This is a big map.
Yeah.
This map is like twice the size of the old Clash map.
It's just like beautiful to stare at.
So there's just so many things around this map. I'll try to.
This reminds me of Siege way too much. I don't know.
All new environments. You got some inspiration here from
the map is too big.
The ravines and waterfalls, but all brand new. We have completely new towers.
I understand it though. This is they want this to be like a stepping stone to Conquest. I think.
Quetzalbird. Lots of updates to jungle monsters across the map. We have the hyenas and baboons that were from the Clash map. Those have had texture model updates. We have a new twist on those monsters as well in the new jaguars.
I don't understand why we did this.
Set, but they're a new character. So you have now a speed buff holder.
Reaper tipped $4.
You have our favorite Flash Titan from the Chaos side. That is the Skull Sarcophagus Pharaoh. Still as the
yeah, we didn't want to lose him, right? He was awesome.
Yeah, true.
He's really cool looking, yeah, honestly, and we did want to keep him. We also, of course,
I don't know how I feel about this.
Everyone's second favorite giant snake after Jormungandr, of course, because Smite obviously needs more.
I like the Titans; they're cool.
Favorite giant snake. Apophis is the key jungle boss, and we have all new Siege Juggernauts. So these are completely new.
Yeah, you have 3 jungle camps on each side of the map, one in the middle.
Siege Juggernaut that was, had these little minions mounted it, riding it, is no longer going to be part of this map. But Siege Juggernauts as a mechanic are still a very active part of this map. So really what you've got here are 2 lanes. You've got jungle buffs in a more traditional positions around the map. You've got Siege Juggernaut camps, which you can clear to spawn new Siege Juggernauts. You will not be able to spawn Siege Juggernauts through killing minions anymore. And you have a Apophis as a final boss, Fire Giant style boss, providing a Fire Giant style buff. Here are the new Siege Juggernauts. They're giant snake men related to Apophis. Yeah. Killing one will spawn
as you kill
Juggernaut.
Them, right? It spawns
one. It spawns a Juggernaut right when you kill
it. And if a Juggernaut is in your lane, there will also be a portal opened up in your lane. We've made a few adjustments to the portal.
This is normal. This is
2 different portals. So if you do have 2 different Juggernauts, you can choose which lane you want to go through. And the portal tech is no longer instant. So instead, you will have a fast travel.
I like that. That's cool.
Oh, that Ganesh was just ready to ult you on.
Ganesh was waiting for it. He's already
the hacks, though, the infinite damage hacks, dispatched him quickly. So a lot of changes across this map in a lot of places. As Clumsy can speak to, you get a lot of fighting back and forth, a lot of rotation. This center area.
I honestly feel like,
but not as
this
quite
isn't
as open
good.
As Clash, and it also doesn't have jungle fog vision, so you can really.
This should have been a siege This should have been a siege redo. That's all this is. They should have left Clash in the game.
Super awesome. I love just seeing this. The map is beautiful. I'm excited.
This is
for the gameplay.
siege. Why do we not?
The Juggernaut I don't understand.
Is
now a big point of I guess a pivotal part of the map. Instead of when that objective comes up, you're going to see team fights around that objective.
Am I trolling? I honestly, I don't even understand why they did this. I
get the advantage of having the Juggernaut push.
I don't get this at all. I thought we were cool. I don't know what they could have done because I don't really give a fuck. But this doesn't feel any different.
I'm so excited.
So there's a lot of other interesting features going on in this map regarding jungle camp spawning.
I just don't understand why this would be fun. I mean, I get
a little bit more complex.
Look at the late. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
We'll be able to read more about this in the patch notes.
It looks like dog shit.
Brief TLDR. So we have a few camps that kind of spawn in different locations.
The problem is Clash was a fast-paced game mode, way more fun than Siege, in my opinion. And this
really,
is Siege with an extra fucking player.
We're not wanting to create something complicated that players have to keep track of, but we are kind of tactically moving the key objectives around the map to create new fights in different places.
Yeah, Siege had portals.
Things out and to split players up and kind of create new fights, new team fights at different stages in the map. So first thing you're going to see is like Clash, the red buff in the center of the map is what spawns very first. Before the blue and yellow and the speed buffs, before lane minions, you get just a red buff 5v5, just dog pile of a fight at the beginning of the match. You can play this safe, or you can sometimes get double, triple kills. This is something that Clash players really liked. So as we were doing this merger, this is something we decided.
I just feel like this game mode's gonna be slower than Clash.
We'll then see the blue buffs and the speed buffs and the lane minions spawn after that.
And the weird thing to me is
later
jungling, like being a jungler. I don't understand how that's gonna work.
Center of the map on the left and right, so you can see the one just spawned on the right first. The Siege Juggernauts spawn. They don't spawn at the same time. One will spawn on the right lane first, and then the other lane.
I think this is going to be very slow paced compared to Clash.
Depending on the side of the map
and it's kind of Siege
the single
style.
Wall versus the double wall. They'll spawn one at a time, so your team has time to rotate.
But even longer than Siege because you've got extra towers, right? You've got more shit to deal with.
Will spawn, and then even later in the game, 2 more sources of Siege Juggernaut can spawn, which you'll see are deeper in each player's base. This is kind of an anti-snowball feature that allows you.
You won't even be a roamer though. There's nowhere to roam. You just go left and right with no camps.
Lost some of your towers, you still have a way to attain a Juggernaut. Try to make that comeback push. So really like how the map kind of moves with the players and tracks as the game goes
I honestly think
really
casual players are going to think this is too slow.
Different phases to the mode, and gives you a chance to always have a comeback. Always bring it back.
We'll see.
One of the problems we've seen with Siege and Clash is the modes tend to.
I don't know what game is played more, Siege or Clash right now. But I feel like Clash players will not like this.
Kind of stalemate, and I think a lot of the ways we've worked on these mechanics in Slash helps mitigate those problems.
That's super awesome to hear. You love a
Clash for sure. I think Clash players aren't gonna like this.
Like the objectives.
I think Clash players like Clash because all you're doing is fighting and fucking around.
Go stand wherever the minions are standing and wait for the next interesting thing to happen. There's always something you can go after, something your team can focus on, and always a way for a comeback. Like who doesn't love a good comeback story or a comeback game? So, and I
important part of Smite is
every time I'm talking.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
It's to. We want to introduce things you can do that are just fun, right? So this mode, you can play this mode and just kind of push a lane and kill whatever's around you.
That's one thing with the bigger map. You will have like 3v3s or like 2v2s more than on Clash currently,
right? And more metagaming and min-maxing, which we want this mode to be something that can live on for a long time. And
I thought it was about the wall up on that platform.
We've done a lot of play tests. I mean, me and Clumsy have played in a lot. We've played with a lot of different skill tiers across the company, a lot of people from different backgrounds and different play styles. And I feel like everyone has found something in this map that they really enjoy, something that really resonates with them, something they feel like they can do really well and be really effective. You know, whether it's Clumsy blowing up people at max range and getting huge mage abilities, or me kind of target calling and focusing on the siege juggernauts and which one's spawning next. You can always find something to do. Really appreciate the pawns driving around here and showing us some more of the environment. As you can see, there's some cool stuff on the outskirts of the map. We have some giant scarab beetles in the distance building.
I think I expected too much out of this
chaos map. There are camels, living camels. There's this cool sarcophagus section. We have these.
I do like that you have to play around the juggernauts. So you have to kill them to spawn juggernauts, which is dope. That idea is dope.
See through the trees, and we were like, what if we made trees so big that even when you were flying in the air, they weren't in your way? So we have
that's what I am also upset about. Is I feel like we might have got this instead of a new conquest map, which is
give it that really strong
terrible
jungle feel and really bring the Maya art set to life. Which people have been asking for us to revamp that art set for many years. So
did I tweet?
Environment team, level design, just did an absolutely fantastic job on this map and worked really hard on it. And I know we changed the release date on it a few times, but we used every minute to pour heart and soul and love into this map to make it the coolest new Smite map.
I hope that it ends up being fun. I hope that the Juggernaut play is min-maxed and actually enjoyable.
That just, as it has gone
What's the gold
process,
pooling?
Even I've only been slightly aware of some of
the gold pooling is
because this map
is 6 and 7, right?
Worked on. Like
6.5 or whatever.
Every minute of this map existing has been, what can we do better? What can we make prettier? What can we make more fun? How can we balance
the 7? Okay,
it's
yeah, that's good.
Sat around for a week. Like every time I hear somebody talk about Slash, it's like, hey, we just changed 53 things in the last week. So absolutely crazy. But yeah, y'all can look forward to that. I want all of y'all when this map is out, when y'all are
I hope it's fun. I just hope the casual players don't dislike it.
Your favorite parts of the map because it's so beautiful to look at. So I hope to see Twitter flooded with those. But that's going to be the end of our of the update show. It's been a wild ride. There's so many new things coming out.
All right, that's
again,
the end
make
of
sure to check
the update show
because I'm sure there's something you missed or things that we just didn't have time to talk about because we wanted to go to bed.